We have the third of our Spotlight series where you'll be blown away by the Tech Alley pitches that have been chosen from this morning's Pitch Perfect Challenge. So first we're going to welcome to the stage Pierre Ferrandon from IWG, followed by Royden Schotter of Planalytics, and then Teano Benz of Robotics. So first up we have Pierre.
Well, good afternoon, kia ora, bonjour everyone. This is a lot more impressive than a small breakfast room this morning. So I'll kick off without further ado. As you can tell, I'm not from France. And after living 4 years in New Zealand, I have to say every day I feel lucky to live in this country, where wellness feels a lot better than Paris. Having experienced the subway on a Monday morning, it's pretty a lot worse than Tamaki Drive or the Auckland Bridge, even with traffic. But when we talk about wellness, how do we achieve wellness? I don't know, but over the next minute or so, I'd like to talk to you about how we plan to play our part. A few years back, our founder, Mark Dixon, traveling to Europe, realized that the world of work was going to be disrupted. He realized that the old way of working 9 to 5, commuting every day to the same cubicle office, and working a lifelong job at the same company was going to be over. What he had seen then was what we call today flexible working. So he decided to commission an independent study from the economist Steve Lucas to look at the impact of flexible working on the economies of 16 countries around the world. And the findings were quite astonishing. If the flexible working adoption continued at the same rate, by 2030, that means a $10 trillion added value to the global economies. In New Zealand terms, that is 16.2 billion. That's the equivalent of 3.5 billion hours of commute saved every year, which equals to 214 tons of CO2 saved, which would take 5.5 billion trees to plant over 10 years to offset the same amount of carbon emission. So surely this is something that's good for the well-being of people, planet, and the economies. So he thought the next year I will ask people what they actually think about it. And he conducted a survey across 18,000 professionals in 96 countries to ask them what they think. 85% of people said that flexible working increases their company's productivity. 4 out of 5 employees would choose a job offer that offers flexible working when faced with 2 similar opportunities. 50% of workers globally work out of the main office 2.5 days per week. Finally, 81% of the respondents said remote working help increase employee work-life balance and job satisfaction. So clearly, flexible working is something that people want and something that is good for all of us. That's all very well, but where is the business idea? Well, in True Entrepreneur, he thought, which industry is the most likely to be disrupted and where can I find the most potential? And his answer was real estate. The reason for that is real estate, by definition, is inflexible, not adaptable to change, risky, expensive, and capital intensive. So in a changing world where people commute and work remotely, this is certainly not the best idea. So how can we make the office space work in the context of accelerated adoption of flexible working? We do it by making workspace as a service. Today, we operate 3,400 workspaces around the globe that gives people access to an on-demand workspace for their employees to work wherever, however, and whenever they want. We do that through 5 different formats that offer workspace to adapt to different work style. If you're a hipster and you like yoga or having vegan food served in your office, number 18 is for you. If you're a more traditional accountant or financial service provider or anyone else, actually you can use Regus, which is more convenient, cost-effective. If you're a bit of both and you want a creative workspace, Spaces is for you. How our model work? A little bit like Uber or Airbnb. On the one side, we have our partner ecosystem, landlords, property developers, investors, IT and telecom providers, furniture, equipment, everything that you need to create a workspace. On the other hand, a digital platform that's accessible through one app where you can click and reserve workspace from one simple button. And then middle would provide a consistent product across the world. All your workspace needs are taken care of. So instead of having to rely on multiple contractors that gives risk, time-consuming, and difficulties, we provide all of that for you across different products. Now, what's the benefit for a company? Essentially, financial effectiveness is one, organizational agility, employee empowerment, and operational excellence. From the financial front, one simple monthly fee that includes all your costs on a service basis, which means it's not a lease. For those of you who know IFRS 16, that's going to be a big game changer. Operational agility, you can connect with us and use us either on dropping workspace from an app up to customizing your own workspace within our space without taking long-term commitments. Employee empowerment. Everyone wants to work close to home, 10 minutes from their home, instead of traveling an hour and a half every day. That's what we do. And you give the ability to your employees to work wherever they want. Happier employees, more productive, and better for the environment. Operational excellence, we've been doing that for 30 years across 3,000 locations around the world. We provide that for 2.5 million customers today. So what could the future of commercial property look like for you? Lower cost, maximum scalability, speed to market, improved talent retention, and of course, less risk. In these fast-changing worlds today, I think this is really important. So you're going to ask, well, that's all very well, we're a big corporate, and what am I doing here pitching for a startup? Well, actually, if you listen to the expert, our industry is at the very beginning. JLL estimates that 30% of all commercial office space will be flexible by 2030. In New Zealand today, it's less than 1%. So that's a 30-time multiplier, which looks like tech companies. So what we've decided to do is launch our franchise program at the beginning of this year to give access to any type of partners, government, institutions, small business operator, franchise operator, to get and partner with us on this journey. We want to build a network where employees can access a workspace anywhere they want. Cut the commute, be happier of work instead of coming into an office where you're actually coming only because your employer is asking you to. So if this is something you're interested in, please reach out to us, connect, and we'll be very happy to explain how this works and change the world of work. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Royden Shotter, founder and creator of Planalytics. In 2007, I left my financial planning job. It was a salaried job and I loved it, but it was time to go. And as I went out on my own, I looked around the marketplace and I was looking for tools. I needed software to help me and help guide my clients to do what I needed to do for them. And there just wasn't a lot around. Or at least, there was nothing that I just really liked and felt was going to be a good fit. So I made my own. And I wrote that in Excel. Lifetime cash flow modeling is this thing where you look at each year of a client's life. You look at all the money going in, you look at all the money going out, and the impact of any difference. It's very much a client-first approach. You look at who they are, what they're doing, where they're going, what they need, and only then, once you've got a good understanding of where they're at, do you consider what products they might need. Having been doing this for about 17 years now, for me, there is really no other way to do it. Any other kind of approach, it just kind of feels like guessing. So, Planalytics. It's not in Excel anymore. It's online, it's cloud-based, it's a lifetime cash flow modeling tool, but it's designed to be used in real time in front of your clients. It shows them their world, and you can take them in a journey of their life that they've never experienced in any other way. How do we do it? It's just as simple as entering their information. You take all the data points of their life, their date of birth, their income, expenses, mortgage, and it starts to build a picture as you flesh it out of their wider finances, which are then projected forwards. So like it becomes a crystal ball. You get this, if you do it right, you get this financial map of their life. But there's nothing prescriptive about it. It's not a sales funnel, there's no product. It's open and client-centric. provides insights, and it works for just about any kind of advisor that I can think of. It's very agnostic in that regard. Doesn't matter if you're a mortgage broker, insurance advisor, investment guy, financial planner, even accountants. They would all benefit from using this approach and meeting their clients in the software in this way. But importantly for this room, perhaps, it does some other things. It evidences processes. You're talking about that 6-step financial planning process, that third part that gets overlooked, that third step, which is analysis. It does that as you use it. But I love it because clients love it. It answers their questions. How fast can I repay debt? If I've done that, can I get a batch boat? Can I get a batch boat now? Rental properties, should I lean in? Should I get 1 or 4? How long will my money last? How much do I need to save? And that big one, am I going to be okay? So Planalytics redefines that advisor-client relationship. It answers clients' questions and it empowers them to make more informed decisions with their advisor as navigator and guide. Thanks for listening, everyone. Come and see us in Tech Alley.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you to the judges and everyone this morning who voted for me. I'm very sorry, but you're going to hear the exact same jokes one more time. My first job was as a proposal engineer in the clean tech sector. Now, what task do you give to a young graduate full of energy and belief that he can change the world? You give him hundreds of business cards and tell him to enter the data into a CRM system. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I believe that a lot of us are still performing these type of tasks today. Not entering business cards, perhaps, but manual, repetitive, tedious tasks that we shouldn't be doing. How many of you will feel fulfilled if you were entering data into one system and then taking the same data and enter it again in another system? No one. But that's part of data entry, when two systems don't interact. Or how about looking at two documents or sets of data and seeing if they match or not? Reconciliation. We perform so many tasks that although the process itself may be complex, it's made up of sub-processes that are manual, repetitive, tedious. So what if I told you that I have a colleague who could perform the boring parts of this for you? A colleague who loves manual, repetitive tasks, who never makes an error, who's always on time, who can work 24/7, 365, and most importantly, doesn't get too drunk on the Christmas function. You ready to hire him or her? It's a digital colleague, and it's a bot. And what I'm talking about is robotic process automation. And some of you may know it, some of you may use it already. It's a software, so it's not a physical robot. It's a software that performs a digital process by copying the actions of a human. Now, we're using this in New Zealand to change the way we work, change the way companies work. It impacts people, it impacts costs, profits, customer experiences. We're doing so with a lot of companies in a lot of different sectors, and a lot of the finance processes that we're talking about here today are very suitable for automation. So this is cool and all. We have a bot doing stuff. If you come to our stand, you can see it. But how does it connect to well-being? So one large insurer managed to reduce overtime by 75% last year by using RPA. In another study of 100 companies, 86% experienced increased efficiency. So if we take this and you think about your organizations, what can you do with that? We have reduced overtime and backlog for our people. Our people can focus on creative tasks, spend more time for personal development, more time for interaction with colleagues and getting away from the computer, which we think, or which is proven actually, that leads to improved well-being and job satisfaction. Now, one change from this morning's presentation is that I brought this, a bottle of wine. A new joke. If you want to win it, come and talk to me. So, key message today, is that robots are here to take over the tedious tasks so you can enjoy your work. Thank you very much.